And coming up tonight on JoyNews Prime, Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, makes good its threat and serves demand notice to 91 government health facilities, owing the company a total of 261 million cedis. JoyNews investigations reveal how first-year students of some senior high schools across the country were forced to eat one specific meal for lunch and supper for an entire term due to acute shortage of food.
We have no food at the stores, and the master is in Accra now, fighting for food for our own benefit.
We'll bring you details of except of our upcoming hotline documentary, Empty Plate, the free SHS Promise. And also in this bulletin, Minister of State Designate for Finance, Abena Asare, says $3.8 billion financial cost document warning against signing of the anti-LGBTQI+ bill was not an advice to the president. Details, as she says, government has no intention to bring back road tolls in 2024.
In the budget for 2024, I don't think we introduced any line item for road tolls, and so it remains as such.
Now, JoyNews investigations have revealed how first-year students of some senior high schools across the country were left with no option than to eat one specific meal for lunch and supper throughout the term due to acute shortage of food. This is coming up in our latest online documentary, Empty Plate, the free SHS Promise, which highlights the grim picture of quantity and quality of food that is served thousands of students on various campuses. Here, our excerpt of the documentary.
Here in the central region, the harsh reality comes to life. A dining hall prefect, Sambali, informs first-year students of the insufficient food supply. Their meals are reduced to simple, often nutritionally inadequate options. This situation is not unique to the central region, but is echoed across schools in other regions.
As said, I have told you, we have no food at the stores, and the master is in Accra now, fighting for food for our own benefit. So we are pleading with you to manage the little here, and we promise you very soon there will be enough food for us so that we can all enjoy ourselves. Thank you.
Our Empty Plate, the free SHS Promise, will be airing on Monday, March 18 on Joy FM Super Morning Show at 8:30 a.m. and on Joy News Channel at 8:30 p.m. Now, led to other stories. About 91 hospitals, including major referral hospitals, have up to 72 hours to cough up over 200 million cedis to pay the Electricity Company of Ghana or risk being disconnected from the national grid over the debt. Today, the ECG made good its threat to serve the various hospitals the demand notices and then will wait for the payment schedules the facilities will come up with to avoid a total disconnection. Among the prominent hospitals to be disconnected include the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the 37 Military Hospital, and the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, alone owing ECG up to $41 million. Volta Regional Hospital owe $15,163,878, and all of these in the Volta region, this amount is owed by 8 facilities. Whole Teaching Hospital owing $5,808,909 cedis. KATH Municipal Hospital owing $410,983. In the Central region, the total of debt owed is $21,303,839 cedis, 75 pesos, and that's owed by 7 facilities, including the Ankafo Psychiatric Hospital, which owes $2,225,745. The Chifopraso New Hospital owes $5,826,432. In the Eastern region, the region owes a total of $21,031,322, and the facilities that owe this amount are 10. In the Ashanti region, the total debt is 50,045,753 cedis, 72 pesos, and it's owed by 15 facilities, including Menshia Government Hospital, which owes 2,026,944. Konfanoche Teaching Hospital owes 27,265,226. In the Western region, the total is 22,312,253, owed by 11 facilities. In the Greater Accra region, the region is divided into the Greater Accra East region, which has 9 facilities, owing a total of 66,643,000, including the 37 military hospital, 33,477,000, police hospital, 6,109,000, Lekma hospital, 2 million, general hospital, which owes around 642,000, University of Ghana hospital, 2,249,000, and the list goes on and on. In the Tama region, owes around 8 million, and the facilities that owe this amount are 11 facilities. Kofi joins me in studio with a lot more breakdown. Kofi, what more do we know?
So, Brace, it's good you mentioned the individual hospitals. So let's start with the aggregated figure. So you look at a place like the Greater Accra region. So we are looking at the regional breakdown. You have 25 health facilities that owe the ECG in excess of 130 million Ghana cedis. You go to the Ashanti region, you have 15 health facilities owing in excess of 50 million Ghana cedis. Western region, 11 facilities, 22.3 million Ghana cedis. Central region, 7 with 21.3 million Ghana cedis. And Volta region, 8 hospitals, just like you mentioned, at 15.2 million cedis. And the Eastern region has 10 health facilities owing the ECG at 21.03 million Ghana cedis. If you add all these hospitals, you get about 91 health facilities and a total of 261 million Ghana cedis that these health facilities are currently owing the ECG. So we decided to understand the situation a bit more. That is it that health facilities are not able to pay the bills based on the number, the fact that they generate a lower income. So we decided to look at the IGF, or the internally generated funds of some of the teaching hospitals. In fact, all the teaching hospitals we have currently in Ghana, the ones that were reported by the Finance Ministry, to see how they are doing or faring in terms of their internally generated fund, the IGF. And we know that the IGF, what you generate is what you retain. So you are given the opportunity to retain 100% of what you generate. So if you rank it, then the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital comes first. If you look at the 2023 projection, by the end of 2023, was expected to generate close to 150 million Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Konfanoche Teaching Hospital in excess of 111 million cedis. There's Cape Coast 30.3 million cedis, and whole teaching hospitals close to 30 million cedis. In fact, if you look at their actuals, these are projections for 2023, and the projections were based on the first 9 months actuals. Now, the first 9 month actuals, you see that still Korle Bu is able to rake in 112.2 million Ghana cedis, and Konfanoche hovering around 83.3 million cedis. Cape Coast around 22.7 million cedis, and whole teaching hospital 20.9 million cedis. So if you are generating this amount of money, the question is, why aren't you able to pay your bills in full? Is it that there are other cost burdens or expenditure burdens not allowing you to pay the bills that in total ECG is demanding close to 260 million Ghana?
There obviously be other bills anyway, but I mean, looking at what they get, they should be able to.
They should be able to pay,
because the power is what really holds you to deliver the services you do.
Absolutely.
So there are a lot more questions to be asked there. Well, anyway, Kofi, that's grateful to you for that breakdown there. But do we know exactly whether on what ECG is up to in terms of they've sent letters anyway, but have they heard from these?
So in fact, the first institution that they sent letter to is actually the Ridge Hospital, which if you do the individual analysis, you realize that the regional hospital is the hospital that owes the most.
Okay.
They owe in excess of 40 million Ghana cedis. ECG served them a letter. We understand that individual hospitals like Dementia Hospital has actually been disconnected.
Okay.
Bekwai has been served, a letter, and other hospitals like, some in the Greater Accra region, 37 military hospitals also served a letter, and other big hospitals in the country, all are owing the ECG, and they are demanding that they need that 260 million Ghana cedis. Maybe to be able to pay the IPPs.
Exactly.
The power on.
Exactly. Let's see how it goes. Well, thank you. Two other stories: scores of patients and visitors at the Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital are stranded as consultant and specialist doctors at the hospital abandoning their services. The medical officers declared an indefinite strike following an emergency meeting yesterday over what they describe as a forceful ejection from their homes in the Danyame enclave by a private developer. JoyNews checks indicate there is no doctor at post to attend to outpatient. My colleague Nana Boachi Yadom was at the hospital and reports.
Medical doctors at the Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital say they are embarking on an indefinite strike over what leadership describe as harassment and persistent orders to move out of their Denyame residents in Kumasi. The doctors on Tuesday concluded on the industrial action to demand the installation of their bungalows despite claims that it has been sold out. Dr. Michael Leet is the president of the KATH Doctors Association. He explains the frustration of the affected doctors.
Some doctors in the Denyame residence are supposed to be evicted. I mean, this has been ongoing for about a year now. And as an association, we've suggested some measures to management, but we see this to be beyond our hospital management, in that, I mean, they are not the owners of the land per se. So some of our doctors have been given an eviction they've been given notices to evict their accommodation units within a week. Some have had their water supply cut off. Some have been walled in.
According to him, the doctors at the hospital will lay down their tools to seek access to their accommodation.
We have close to about 20-something doctors plus other staff of the Komfo Anoche and other doctors from other hospitals. So we thought it wise that if you are being evicted, then we meet and decide as a group what is the next step. And what came out, the unanimous decision was to lay down our tools tomorrow by 6 a.m. and then go and look for accommodation.
Meanwhile, the Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensah says the allegation of ejection are untrue. He wants the affected doctors to provide evidence to support their claims.
If I hear somebody saying that we've given him 1 week to vacate his bungalow or something, they should produce the letter so that we know the author of that letter, whoever wrote that letter to them. We want to know. And also, we've had agreement with the contractors that before they move anybody, they have to rent a place for the person for a period of 2 years, by which time we will be sure we will be done with all the structures we are putting up. And they should produce a letter that is giving them an ultimatum of 1 week. They should provide that letter to me. And we've said that no developer should move anybody without a rented alternative accommodation.
The minister indicated that the government is constructing bungalows to accommodate several doctors within the region.
Originally, we decided to build 200. Now we've reduced it to 180 because we are sure that the 180 will be enough for all those that we are going to relocate. And this location is one site, that is one contractor's site. And here we have more than 30 structures. As you can see, most of them are above 80% complete. Only few will be around maybe 75.
For JoyNews, Nana Boachi Yadom, Kumasi.
Minister for Transport, Kweko Foriasiama, has been summoned to provide urgent answers to MPs over an alleged charge of $10 to $20 by the Ghana Airport Company as maintenance charge. Former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu, who raised the issue on the floor, described the charge as illegal since Parliament had not approved the charge.
Of urgent public importance because what authority does the Ghana Airport Company have to impose fees and charges And is this charges consistent with the Fees and Charges Act approved by the Parliament of Ghana? So, Mr. Speaker, I've seen a letter Ghana Airports Company signed Yvonne Nana Afriye Opare, Mrs. Managing Director. And Mr. Speaker, I read it for the record. Further to discussions with the executives of Airport Operations Committee, AOC, regarding our baggage belt overhauling and maintenance issue, the Board of Directors of Ghana Airports Company, in consultation with Ministry of Transport, institutes maintenance charges of $20 on all-round airline trips and $12. Mr. Speaker, that will be cost to Ghanaian travelers from abroad to Ghana. Yeah, $20 on all-round air trips and $10 to be charged one way. And this fee will be effective May 1st, 2024. Mr. Speaker, I think that the Minister for Transport will have to be hauled by you to this House to explain the authority of the Ghana Airports Company and to explain to Ghanaians where he drives the authority and mandate from and whether this is consistent with our Fees and Charges Act. We owe it to Ghanaians abroad and within, those of you who travel, that you should never be taken unaware on side charges. Mr. Speaker.
Now, MP for Inshaya, Dr. Stephen Amwa, cautioned the minority against politicizing the move. He was, however, not opposed to calls to bring the Transport Minister before the House to answer questions.
As we all trying to adhere to our laws and rules in the country, which, of course, demand that such charges, of course, need the appropriate legal and policy approval, which we all support. I think some of the comments, I'm quite not happy with them because my senior leader of the opposition party knows clearly that under this regime, I'm a member of the Finance Committee, he's talking about taking steps to deal with all these challenges. He knows. It took us not a number of days, weeks, even if not months. So we speak as if at present the country is highly taxed and stuff like that. Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised because that statement is not in good faith. Do we have a time we say taxes are high or low? It depends on the fiscal space situation of our country, and he knows that. Mr. Speaker, what I can say is that I think we need to refer this so that the minister in charge will be given the appropriate opportunity to come and answer questions on that. But if we say that it should be just tomorrow, we don't even know his situation now. I think as a House, we need to adhere to the needed balance when it comes to our political interests and state issues. Other than that, I think I support what he's saying. But the fact that he's saying that the country is becoming over highly taxed and stuff like that, I always refer to them that between 2014 and 2016, 26 tax items were either introduced or increased. So they shouldn't talk about that. Mr. Speaker, tax issues once and for all, we need to deal with them in our country because it's one of the issues destroying our country.
Away from that, the Volta Regional Minister, Archibald Lecha, has attributed a delay in the resettlement for communities affected by the tidal waves in KATH South to land litigation and other factors. Answering questions in Parliament on Wednesday, Dr. Lecha said Ghana Gas has committed to build 15 two-bedroom units as part of the project initiated by the government.
Households comprising 1,096 individuals, made up of 227 adult males and 287 adult females, 281 boys and 301 girls below 18 years respectively, were severely affected by tidal waves in the KATH South municipality. In response, the Municipal Assembly sought to undertake a relocation of 115 households in the Salakope, Amutinu, and Agaveti communities, which were worst affected. It was decided to construct two-bedroom apartments, extend utility services, water, electricity, and road, and drainage works at a new site. Mr. Speaker, the total cost for the project was estimated at 25 million Ghana cedis, and the Municipal Assembly sought support from the central government and non-governmental institutions to finance the project. The status of the project, land has been allocated by the chiefs of Agaveji, Amutinu, and Sarakope communities for the project. The land has been surveyed and demarcated into various plots. The servicing of the land with water, electricity, and road has been done. The Assembly has submitted proposals to various institutions of state for financial support. Some of these institutions include the National Laboratory Authority, the Ghana Gas Company Limited, Tidal Oil, Wave Power, and the Ministry of Works and Housing. Ghana Gas has offered to construct 15 of the two-bedroom units to start the project, which saw the actual construction works starting in the year 2022. So far, I would say that roofing works is ongoing on 10 out of the 15 housing units. The 5 remaining units are also currently at the intel level. The road works and access to the site have been completed. Electricity is extended to the site, and water is also extended to the site. But we have, Mr. Speaker, some few challenges. There were initial land mitigation.
The Minister of State designate for Finance, Abenawose Asare, has told Parliament's Appointment Committee that a widely circulated document on cost of signing the anti-LGBTQI plus bill was not an advice to the President. The Finance Ministry in that document warned that Ghana could lose an estimated $3.8 billion over the next 5 to 6 years should President Nana Akufo-Addo sign the controversial bill. But appearing before the Appointment Committee today, the former Deputy Finance Minister says the document was an internal memo which got leaked to the public. There's more in the following report.
This was an internal memo that the ministry usually with anything that occurs, we sit to deliberate on the positives and if there are any negatives or if there are any challenges. We see how best we can address those challenges. And so just like a normal management meeting where we looked at our expenditures and then we also looked at our revenues. And on the passage of the bill by the House, which I am a member, we heard certain sentiments from certain stakeholders. And so what we sought to do was to see how best we can address any revenue gap issues should they arise as a result of the passage of this bill. That was what we sought to do. And it was an internal memo. It wasn't a memo that was to be sent outside because we were sitting to see how best we could just close the gap.
Did the President request for that advice?
Showed anything?
Did the President request for that advice?
Mr. Chairman, I said it was an internal memo, just like we have our daily, weekly meetings, and so we were discussing this in our meetings.
But it ended up being a letter to the President advising on the potential loss to the country of $3.8 billion from the World Bank alone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I still stand by the fact that it was an internal memo and it had nothing to do with that. We were only looking within to see how best, should any gaps arise, how best we could close those gaps respectfully.
Now, responding to assertions that government is preparing to reintroduce the road tolls, Abenawose Asare says the assertion is not true.
Are you part of the decision makers who decided to suspend the collection of road tolls?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, suspension of the road tolls was a political decision, was a decision taken by government, and I cannot take myself out of it because I'm part of government and I need to take responsibility as such.
You are very courageous, and I encourage you to do that. So currently, are you intending to reintroduce?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the document that spells out the vision for the government in 2024 is the budget. And so we're working with the budget. And in the budget for 2024, I don't think we introduced any line item for road tolls. And so it remains as such, Mr. Chairman.
She says government has budgeted some 4 billion cedis to clear part of depositors' funds under the banking sector cleanup.
This we have is one has to do with the fact that some of these companies have taken the liquidator to courts. And so until we are able to resolve the court issue, government cannot proceed to pay. I remember in 2020, on humanitarian grounds, when the COVID was had a very devastating effect on everybody, government on humanitarian grounds decided to pay 50,000 to all the asset management companies, depositors. And so government went ahead and did that. Government paid, in 2020, government paid, I think, 760 million Ghana cedis. And then in 2021, 580 million Ghana cedis. We still have quite a chunk to pay. So even if you look in the 2024 budget, government has allocated 4 billion Ghana cedis to be used partly to pay for these asset management companies' money, as well as a few NIB and a few other things in there.
Watching the JoyNews Prime here on the JoyNews channel. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Please do stay. Let's bring you some election headquarters stories now. And the election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and the Chartered Institute of Management Accountant, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountant, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Election headquarters for an informed electorate. Now, the Electoral Commission says it will submit a constitutional instrument, CI, to the Attorney General's office seeking to eliminate the use of indelible ink in the 2028 elections. Some political parties kicked against that proposal, and others ahead of the 2024 elections. KATH Jesse has more in the following report.
Speaking to the media after a closed-door meeting with the leadership of the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, GPCC, on measures put in place to ensure a successful election, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, said the constitutional instruments CI used in the 2020 election will be used for this year's election. She, however, disclosed the Commission is beginning processes to scrap the use of indelible ink in the 2028 elections by submitting a CI to the Attorney General.
As elections breed tension, so we want to please plead with our political parties to please put Ghana first. They should put their strategies together, but their strategies is not supposed to overrun the principles that they know that will govern a peaceful election. We are also aware of the monetization of elections that is going on in our nation. We want to plead with them that they should please respect Ghana, and then they should make sure that they don't actually deceive people by giving them an election just to vote for them an election. Let the people vote because of the issues and then the policies and their manifestos that they hear, instead of coercing them with monies and all that.
President of the JPCC, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, admonished politicians to desist from enticing voters with money and allow them to decide who will lead them without monetary influence. The JPCC encouraged the Electoral Commission to intensify its education on the electoral processes.
The essence is to share with the leadership of the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council our program of activities for the 2024 election, and also to seek their feedback and their guidance to ensure that our work, is well grounded in law, and that the outcomes of our work promote peace, the peace and stability of our country. So this is the essence, or this was the essence of our visit to the Pentecostal Council this morning. The CIs that were used in the 2020 election will govern the 2024 election as well, and nothing changes. This means that we will continue to use the guarantor system, and we would continue to use the indelible ink as part of our process. We did emphasize, though, that because of the adoption of the biometric register, there was no need to use the indelible ink, because every individual is identified with their fingerprints, and every individual in the world has unique fingerprints, and no two individuals have the same fingerprint, and therefore the indelible ink was not necessary.
After conducting the district-level elections last December without the use of the indelible ink, the Electoral Commission had hoped.
Now, former Auditor General Daniel Yao Demelevo has cautioned against what he described as the auctioning of public positions, where people fund political parties in return for appointment in the public service. According to him, this development may pave the way for unqualified people and criminals to find their way into the public system for their parochial interests. Speaking via Meet at the maiden edition of the Leadership Ethics Seminar in Ho, organized by the Africa Ethics Institute, he called for the establishment of the meritocracy in public sector.
The Leadership Ethics Seminar held at the Volta Serene Hotel in Ho was organized by the Africa Ethics Institute under the auspices of LifeMark Africa. It served as a platform to impact ethics in the younger generation to enable them to uphold their values. The director of the Africa Ethics Institute, Israel Lare, entreated the participants to establish multiple income streams to enable them to of engaging in corruption.
The temptation to be unethical or to be corrupt is much greater. So what we also seek to do, much as we preach and tell them to seek to be ethical, we're also getting them to appreciate that if they are able to reduce their cost of living significantly and live within their means, or bring down their cost of living significantly, while at the same time try to increase their incomes. And by increasing their incomes, they are doing so through legitimate means. If you get that pushing and you're also content within yourself, it is less likely that you end up being corrupt.
Former Auditor General Daniel Yao Demelevo lamented the high incidence of corruption in the country, adding that corruption has become a religion. He called for the strengthening of the anti-corruption institutions and the establishment of an efficient public financial management system, among other measures to protect the public purse. Mr. Demelevo also warned against auctioning of public offices.
We are in an election year, which again auction year. We are auctioning public offices. Instead of people being elected into positions, by position. So the highest bidder wins the auction at the end of the day. We have to look at it. If we don't look at this auctioning of public offices seriously, what may happen is that very soon we can have people who are not funding our election, and so we will compromise it. It is also possible that terrorists will fund our politicians into office, and they will be in trouble. So there is the need to ensure that we keep the excessive spending, the lavish, the giving out of cars, motorbikes, etc., for the purpose of election.
He opined that to curb corrupt practices, the country's leaders should be held accountable.
We need the big fishes, not the small fishes. If the big fishes are being caught, the small ones will run for their dear life. So that is where it starts. We can look at Singapore, we can look at Malaysia. all the countries that were successful, they were holding the top responsible so that we can all benefit from the public funds. I would like to end here by urging all of you to uphold integrity. You should not have any price to compromise your integrity.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News. Oh.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and Chartered Institute of Management Accountant and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountant together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountant. Election Headquarters for an informed electorate. Now let's move to other stories. And the Ward District Court today remanded into prison custody prime suspect Alicia Mahama Akpanyiche into prison custody his girlfriend Belinda Miller and security guard Kweku Kombara to police custody in connection with the gruesome murder of owner of Jirapa Dubai in the Upper West region. 4 other suspects were acquitted by the court presided over by his Honor Maxwell McBrain. Titi Riku Eric Johnson was found dead, lying in a pool of blood at his private residence on February 11. JoyNews Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam sat through the court proceedings and report how the court was told how the prime suspect and lover plotted the murder of the Jirapa Dubai owner.
Room size of the Ward District Court was full to the rafters. Hardly one get a blade space to walk through at the court. Leading the prosecution, Chief Superintendent of Police, Abdullahi Amadou Ali Chao, first informed the court of the change in the charge seat and also prayed for 4 of the 7 suspects to be discharged and acquitted. They are Michael Kuluge, Favor Nobe, Foster Dokuru, and Brian Makasim. The remaining 3 suspects, Eliza Mahama Akpanyiche, 32, Belinda Miller, 26, and security guard Kweku Kombata, 56, were however slapped with 2 charges, conspiracy to commit murder and murder. The trio has however denied the charges leveled against them. Chief Superintendent of Police, Lawyer Abdullahi Amadou Ali Chao, presenting the facts of the case, disclosed that the prime suspect, Eliza Mahama Akpanyiche, who is the former human resource manager of Royal Coast Hills Hotel, otherwise known as Jirapa Dubai, was sacked on February 9, 2024, together with his girlfriend front desk officer Belinda Miller and 4 others. Eliza Mahama was sacked for allegedly having multiple sexual relationships with more than 4 female employees of the hotel, which resulted in infighting and unhealthy rivalry among the female workers, thereby impeding progress of work at the hotel. The hotel management later rescinded the decision to sack 26-year-old Belinda Miller, who is a national service personnel. The prosecution further disclosed that Eliza Mahama entered the private residence of Eric Johnson on the night of February 10, 2024, scaling the fortified fence wall with the aid of an aluminum ladder. Available phone records to the investigators indicated that he placed several calls to his girlfriend front desk officer Belinda Miller whilst at the private residence, asking her where he could locate the MasterCard key to Mr. Eric Johnson's room. The first accused entered Eric Johnson's room, stabbing multiple times, leaving him naked and in a pool of blood. The prosecution revealed that he also took an unspecified amount of money from the room and his private Nissan car key, using the car to go out of the crime scene and later abandon the car at Jirapa Zongo. Lawyer Amadou Adicho concluded.
Well, welcome back. Let's do showbiz now. And Becky Beggs is in the house. Our one and only American blogger is here. Hi, how you doing?
And I'm bringing you an American content. This US-based DJ and musician Rasha Rom has revealed that his exposure to African music was as a result of listening to African music from his Liberian dad. I had a conversation with him on E-Vibes, and he said,
I've been listening to my parents' music. They kind of gave me like a good base when it comes to like my music taste and selection. My mom is from Baltimore, Maryland. She listens to a lot of house music, club music, R&B, hip hop. My father's from Liberia, West Africa, so I was exposed to African music, and I had that kind of a background. I feel like with African music and house music, they kind of call you to dance. That became kind of the type of music that I'm into. Music that kind of creates a vibe. So from a young age, I can just always remember dancing a lot. Me and my brothers would always dance for hours and hours. So when I got to college, and I was kind of getting exposed to more people from different cultures and kind of finding commonalities with like the different people and the different music, they were kind of shocked to know the different music that I knew. So that's kind of how I started making music and DJing.
Well,
DJ Russia Rom there. You know, we're still celebrating Ghana Month.
Yeah.
And this evening we're putting the spotlight or throwing the spotlight on a town close to yours.
Okay.
Takoradi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what Takoradi means to the Takoradians.
And the hunters.
The hunters.
Yeah.
Well, here's a little bit of something you should know about the oil city.
In the heart of Ghana's western region lies the vibrant and culturally rich township of Takoradi. With a history dating back to colonial times, this thriving city has become a melting pot of tradition and modernity. Takoradi's strategic locations and its reputation as an oil and gas hub have attracted both local and international businesses. We've seen remarkable growth in industries like shipping, logistics, and tourism, which have contributed to the town's economic prosperity. Takoradi was a hub of economic activity during the colonial era, facilitating trade between Ghana and the rest of the world. The remnants of that period, such as the old European architecture and the railways, still good examples.
Oh, Charlie, now I love you.
I know. I know. What else can you tell us about Takoradi? What else have I missed in there?
You should have brought some of the slangs.
Okay.
You know, like the local terms.
So
yeah.
You want to say something?
Oh, on the Yemfan Sheho.
I don't cry a slang.
No, yeah, baby, go.
Me pacho
Martin.
All right, let's move away from Takoradi. Maybe tomorrow we'll bring you something, special probably from the Volta region you might not know. But Lenny Kravitz is celebrating a new career milestone. The music legend received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on March 12th, and a few close friends and loved ones were there for his big day. Lenny's daughter, Zoo, and her fiancé, Channing, cheered for Lenny alongside longtime friend Denzel Washington. Zoo and Denzel also delivered speeches honoring Lenny's long career while paying tribute to what they cherish most about him. Here is what Denzel said about Lenny.
Years when he was 7, I met him. God has blessed him with an unbelievable talent, but even more so, an unbelievable heart. He's a giver, a lover. I wrote some stuff down, but I'm just riffing. He's a friend. I wrote down the definition of friend. I looked it up, Webster. A person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual relations. Well. Oh, Lord. Yes. A companion. A companion. It said a boon companion. As in a boon. A bosom friend. A brother. A man or boy in relation to other sons or daughters. He's a brother of the world. He's just everyone's brother. A male fellow Christian. A brother. An Afro-American form of address. And I let me say that again. An African-American form of address, i.e., my brother. Spelled B-R-U-T-H-A. A fellow human being, one related to another by common ties. We have been tied together for a long time. We're close friends. We are brothers. I love Lenny Kravitz. I love Lenny Kravitz. I love Lenny Kravitz like I've loved no other brother in my life. Less is more. Leonard Albert Kravitz.
Friendships like this.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Like this.
Like you and I.
Yeah. Can you imagine like Denzel Washington saying
these
all
things
these beautiful things about you?
Yeah. I'll say that about you, yeah. You're my friend.
Well, what would you say right now?
I mean, don't worry, right now.
We still have 1 minute.
No, we don't. We don't.
But I think that you're an amazing person.
You are super amazing. But the words that I would want to use on you, I mean, I have to prepare it. Like, you saw him reading. I would have to read.
We're grateful for your time here on JoyNews Prime. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be here with more exciting stories together with Brace. And, from the entire team here at JoyNews, we say bye-bye to you.
Okay.